Hey guys, welcome to Top 1%, and in today's video we are trying something very different and interesting. You all must have heard of ChatGPT, the new artificial intelligence feature that has taken the world by storm. So I thought, why not take it into my domain? And I asked ChatGPT to design a workout plan and a diet plan by asking it very specific questions and also some follow-up questions on top of it to see how good it really is and how good of a workout plan and diet plan it can create, so that I can evaluate it and bring out the results for you all to see. So it's going to be a very interesting video. If you want to find out what exactly ChatGPT said, watch this video till the very end, and I assure you it's going to be a lot of fun. So without any further ado, let's get started right away. Alright, so we have a guest on our channel today, and since the topic is about ChatGPT and artificial intelligence, technology stuff basically, clear to say I don't know much about that stuff. All I know is about fitness, nutrition, how to lift weights, how to eat, how to get in shape, that kind of stuff. Anyways, this is Ashwal, my cousin, and he works in this very field, so he has a lot more knowledge about this specific stuff, and he is going to give us a good perspective on how ChatGPT works and why it was giving the specific answers that it was giving and what to make of it. So here's to you. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello all, my name is Ashwal CS. I work as a technical lead. I basically work on AR, XR and AI, and today we're gonna see basically how ChatGPT works, how it can be used, how it can help you to get the things which you need from ChatGPT.
Alright, so let's get started with this video. Stay tuned till the very end because I have a feeling it will give you a very interesting perspective of something you never had before. And what you're gonna see on your screen right now after this intro is our chat exchange with ChatGPT and the responses it gave and the counter questions that I asked, trying to trap it, but you'll have to wait till the end to see exactly how it went. So stay tuned till the very end and subscribe to Top 1%. Tell them.
Subscribe to Top 1%, all of you, everyone.
Now he said it, you better do it. Anyways, let's get started with this video right away. Okay, so this is a question that I asked ChatGPT. It's quite detailed. I've seen many other people try this out before, but they ask a very simple one-liner question. But I decided to get into more specifics because I wanted a good quality answer. And this is what I got, and I must say I'm quite impressed, because at the end of the day all it's doing is it's presenting information to you, and from what I see it presented information in a systematic manner, in a way that it makes sense such that you can understand and even apply it. So the first thing that I noticed, I generated 3 different responses. In the first response, it created a case scenario where there's a person that's 25 years old. I didn't tell it anything about it. It just gave an example like that, and it also assumed that the person has a training experience of intermediate, and it also mentioned personal preference and injury history, which is not information that I fed in. And after that it gives a little bit of briefing about warm-up, mobility, basically what it means and what you should do, and then strength training. And after that we have quite simply a 3-day split. First is upper body, the second is lower body, and the third is full body. All of these exercises are 3 to 4 sets for 8 to 12 reps, which is in the hypertrophy range, because I had asked it to create a workout plan to build muscle. So that's pretty cool, and even the selection of exercises makes perfect sense from what I've seen. So I don't know where it sourced that information from, but it looks like a decent training plan. We have a guest over here who's going to explain how AI works, because that's more of his expertise.
Hello Shrey. So when it comes to this ChatGPT, right? So the most of the information which it shows, it would be an info which someone would have mentioned somewhere on the internet. Every data which is being shown by it, it's being trained on millions and millions of points which are available publicly on the internet. It could be in a book, it could be in an article somewhere, it could be a blog post, it could be a Quora answer, it could be anything which anybody has mentioned, and it's able to read all of those, understand it, and filter out for you the most accurate information which it thinks it is. Of course, we do have to still think that It cannot be 100% accurate, but it's trying to be as accurate as possible. So it's basically, you can say, in the most simplest terms, you're having a talk with a very smart person who is able to tell you exactly what you need based on how clear the ask you have. So yeah, that's with that.
So it's like having a know-it-all assistant.
Pretty much, yes, pretty much.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And then yeah, I also asked it to mention about cardio and stretching, which it did. And these are general guidelines, it's nothing specific. So what happened is, because the answer was so long, it got cut right in the middle. Like it stopped mid-sentence. After that I had to ask it to continue from that particular sentence over here, and that's what it did. And it even tells me what common mistakes to avoid, like neglecting proper form, overtraining, not adjusting nutrition, ignoring warm up and cool down, failing to track progress. All of these are very valid points and really good advice that I think any beginner should know. And after that, I tried something interesting. I thought maybe I can do something to find a loophole and see where it lacks and what information it can't give. So the question I asked is to further elaborate on weights to be used for each specific exercise, and also to recommend and explain a periodization model for progressing over the next 3 months. So what happens is, most people don't know what exact weight to start with for any given exercise, particularly for beginners, right? And that is something a coach can help you find. And when you're figuring it out on your own, it becomes a little difficult, but here it tells you how to choose the weights. So that's quite interesting. And after that, periodization model basically means having a specific plan for a fixed amount of time, so that you know how to progress your weights, the number of sets you're doing, the rep range, the exercises, all of that in a systematic and planned manner. So it simplifies periodization over here and gives you an answer about that as well. So all in all, I must say I'm quite impressed. One technical mistake that I found in this piece of information is in phase 3, which is strength and intensity, it says rest period should be around 45 to 60 seconds. However, when you're training for strength, you're lifting in the lower rep range, you'll need longer rest periods, because that's how much time it takes for your muscles to recover in order to perform for the next set. However, if it is higher rep range, you'll need lesser amount of rest. And the second one, basically the same question, just a different answer. It presents it in a little bit of a different way. And one thing that I like is, it just doesn't throw information at you. It also warns you that you must consult with a qualified healthcare professional or a fitness trainer to assess your current fitness level, medical history, injury risk, all that stuff. So I think that's quite a responsible answer. I'm impressed. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, this is the most powerful NLP tool which has been built, a natural language processing tool which has been built in probably the past decade or so. And the main point of a tool like this is that it's not giving you a Q&A answer. It's not like you ask a question and it gives you a bullet points false question. It's basically having a convo with you. It's speaking to you. It's having a conversation with you. So basically, it feels like you're speaking to a human, and that's the main point here. That it talks to you like as if in a language which you can get easily.
That's an interesting thing, because when you just Google for information or you're searching for YouTube videos, you don't exactly know how to ask for a specific thing or what you're looking for exactly. Whereas with ChatGPT, it's almost like you're carrying a conversation. So it feeds you certain words and sentences that makes you understand things a little bit better. So there's a much better flow to the learning process, where you're trying to grasp information basically. So here again, as you can see on your screen, it talks about training goals, training schedules, warm-up and mobility exercises, strength training, the phases, all that other stuff, which is quite neat. I'll just brush through it. And this is another interesting piece of information. It talks about how to make your progressions, right? So it talks about increasing the weight, it talks about increasing the number of reps, it talks about decreasing your rest periods, and also to modify the exercise to make it more challenging. So absolutely, these are the 4 ways in which you can progress. And another thing I noticed is the quality of information given here. It's simplified, but it's good quality information. And sad to say this, but most fitness coaches out there wouldn't be able to give you this quality of information. And yeah, that's unfortunate, but I'm impressed with the quality of information it's giving. It also talks about important considerations, which is your training experience, age and personal preferences, and injury or medical history. Now, these three particular things are very crucial when it comes to designing a training plan, and that is where a coach comes in. And here's where I feel most people would not be able to get what they want, the information from ChatGPT or any other AI based system, right? Because training experience, when an average person, someone who's looking to get into better shape, let's say you answer this question, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say your training experience is in a way that it gets all the information it needs to, give you the best information or output out of it? How would you explain your training experience?
So if I am asked about training experience, obviously since I am new into the field, I would basically say what all I worked with. Like I've done the weights, the strengthening exercises. I would speak about how much cardio I would do, and I would say I would mention what kind of weightlifting I would do, and probably I would mention what kind of exercise I would do in general, how many sets of it, and how many reps of it. So this is what I would speak with ChatGPT at this point, from what I know.
Yeah, and let's be honest, most people will not go through the trouble of feeding this kind of information to this depth. But even if they did, they would still be missing a few points which only an experienced and knowledgeable coach would be able to identify. Like, the software would tell you answers to whatever questions you ask. It can give you all the information that's available on the internet, but it can't tell you what questions you need to ask, which is something that a coach can do. He tells you what you should be focusing on, what questions you should be asking. And I feel, in one sentence, if I had to summarize this entire video, it would be that the quality of answers you get depends on the quality of questions that you ask.
Absolutely correct.
So as a beginner, you wouldn't know what specifically to ask. And if you don't ask the right quality questions, you're not going to get the correct answer that you want, because it can branch out in a million different directions based on all the information that it has. So if you don't narrow it down and then try to get that branch towards the trunk or the root of the tree, you're not going to get exactly what you want. Next up, age and personal preferences. How would you answer this?
So this I think is pretty much straightforward. With respect to the age, you can mention the age. When it comes to personal preferences, here, so I would probably mention, I'm not sure whether to mention the food preferences which I have, or to mention the exercise which I have. So I could have some exercise which I would like, but even then, I wouldn't be sure whether I am enjoying those exercises because of the form which I'm doing correctly, or if because I'm just going through it. So this question would be a bit tricky for me to speak to it and to give a exact answer on what would be my personal choice would be.
Okay, so basically, long story short, he knows his age, but he doesn't know exactly what his personal preferences are, because he doesn't know what exactly that means in the context of training. So if it were me, someone that's an experienced coach who has knowledge about this, I would talk about the exercises that I like, the exercises that I don't like, and exercises that have progressed well with in the past, and stuff that I've tried but I don't find it comfortable to progress with. I would also talk about the style of training that I've done in the past, what I like, what I don't like, that kind of stuff, and my training schedule, and a lot more stuff like that. So it comes down to what exactly are you asking it specifically. And next is injury and medical history. Now, this is a little bit more of a complicated issue, because you can't resolve injuries or medical conditions just through having the right information. Even if you had the right information, there is, let's say, a degree to which you are injured, because pain is something that you feel, right? You know how hurt you are. The machine doesn't know that. It knows what the definition of that condition means. So that's another thing. Whereas if you go to a doctor, a physiotherapist, or a coach, you can explain what degree of pain you're feeling, or what degree of discomfort you're feeling, or what movements you're able to do or not able to do. Based on that, they would tell you what you can do and what you can't do. They'd scale the exercises and the workout routine according to that. Whereas I think AI would not be able to find that balance, or fine tune that approach. That's what I feel. What do you say?
Absolutely, I agree on that. Even when it comes to any kind of injury, sometimes we probably won't even be able to self-diagnose exactly what the issue is, and or to define the depth of the injury which we have. So that depth or that accurate information has to come from someone who has knowledge in that particular field.
Yeah, so that's what it is about. And now on your screen is the third and final response that I got from it. You can quickly go through it. I'm not going to explain this particular response in detail because it's pretty much the same thing expressed in a different way. Overall, in terms of quality of information, based on what question that I asked, I'm very impressed with it. I really am. And while you look at the final response, let me try to explain the entire process of editing and how this whole idea came together. The way I conceptualized it and planned it is very different than how the editing and making the whole video has been. It was honestly a nightmare, but the idea was interesting, and I thought for those that are interested, it would be something that you'd want to sit through all the way till the end. It ended up being longer than I expected, and there was a lot of blank screen in there, but I just tried to do the best I can. And now it's time to look at the final conclusion. If you're still watching this video after all of that, you, my friend, are a person of sheer will and dedication, because either you love me a lot or you have a lot of interest in this topic, and we were captivating enough to keep you engaged to watch this video till this point. And now we are going to give a final conclusion of what is the takeaway of this whole thing. So take it away.
So in the end, ChatGPT is the main thing is basically to filter out all the information which you need, and instead of you having to put in the hard work of going through everything and all the things which you need, this particular tool will help you give you exactly what you want based on the things which you ask for. Obviously, you still need to remember that everything which it says is not 100% accurate. You still need to fact check every single thing, but still the main point is, it's that, like I said, it's a smart person who can tell you all the things which you need in a short, quick format, and without you having to put in the work and the effort to figure it out yourself and search on your by yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And the most important thing which I said towards the end of the answer that I showed is that you need to know what exact questions to ask it, because the quality of the answers will depend on the quality of those questions. And apart from that, another thing is that AI has IQ, but it doesn't have EQ. So basically what it means is, think about it this way, right? When it comes to training or accomplishing any goal that you have in life, we humans focus on motivations and fears, and those come from emotions, right? So another human being, a coach, would understand what motivations you have, what fears you have, and what drives you and what holds you back, and all of those things, right? Because at the end of the day, all of our actions are based on emotions that we feel in the first place, which is something that AI can never understand, at least not for now.
Hopefully in probably a year or two you will be there where it can even feel and tell you what you feel. Let's hope for it.
Okay, that's interesting and scary at the same time. And on that thought, I think let's conclude this video. How was your first time on the channel?
It's been great. It definitely felt awesome to be here and to speak to all of you, and thank you so much for having me here, and it was a great pleasure to be part of all of this.
Alright, so let's hope to see him again on this channel some other time. for more collabs with Fitness X Technology or whatever else, we'll see. Okay, with all of that, that's the end of this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up button, comment down below what are the content you want me to cover in the future, and share this video to all your friends. And until next time, take care, stay hungry.
So yeah, ChatGPT is a tool which will help you to filter out all the information which you have. You're the okay. Yeah, sorry, I forget that.
Don't mind it. It is his first time shooting a YouTube video.
Yeah.
My first time shooting a YouTube video was awful. Please go watch my introduction video on this channel and you'll know. It's okay. Stretch your body a little. Free up a little.
Wait, let me pause it for a while.